Hey everyone, welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating, tragic, and downright chilling characters from the Alien franchise, Ripley 8, the hybrid clone that came to be in Alien Resurrection. But this isn't just about her being a clone of Ellen Ripley. Oh no, Ripley 8 is much more than that. She's a unique, terrifying fusion of human and xenomorph, and her story is one of science, survival, and transformation. Stick around, because we're about to break down everything about her origins, her anatomy, and what makes her such a powerful and intriguing character in the Alien saga.
Come on now, give me the ball.
The death of Ellen Ripley. Let's start with a bit of context. Ellen Ripley, the legendary heroine of the Alien series, met her end in Alien 3. After all the destruction, trauma, and horror that she endured, Ripley chose to sacrifice herself to destroy the last remnants of the xenomorph species inside her. She jumped into a furnace, taking both herself and the embryonic queen with her. It seemed like the ultimate end for the xenomorph threat, right? But as we all know in sci-fi, death is never the end. What came next? A twisted resurrection thanks to science's insatiable drive to control, manipulate, and profit from the very creatures Ripley died trying to stop. The resurrection, Ripley's blood, and the birth of Ripley 8. So after Ripley's death, the story didn't stop there. Her blood samples, taken just before her death by the prison medic Jonathan Clemens, were stored and later retrieved by Weyland-Yutani. When the company collapsed, these samples made their way into the hands of the United Systems Military, or USM. They had big plans: resurrect the xenomorph species and weaponize it. But they weren't just after Ripley's DNA. The blood contained something far more dangerous, the xenomorph queen embryo that had been growing inside her. Using the sample, the USM embarked on a dangerous and ambitious cloning project. It wasn't as simple as just cloning Ripley, though. The xenomorph's unique ability to blend DNA with its host meant that when they tried to clone Ripley from the samples, the result wasn't just a perfect replica. Instead, the cloning process created something much more dangerous. Ripley 8 was born, the 8th and only successful clone of Ellen Ripley, carrying with her the genetic imprint of the xenomorph queen. The end of the Auriga and the return to Earth. Ripley 8's journey reaches its conclusion on the USM Auriga, where she becomes one of the 4 survivors after a catastrophic xenomorph outbreak. She helps the others escape, but not before discovering the horrifying results of the failed cloning process. Ripley 7, Ripley 6, and others who died before her. The newborn, a grotesque hybrid born from the corrupted queen, pursues Ripley 8, and ultimately, she is forced to confront the creature. In the final act, Ripley 8 uses her alien empathy to manipulate the newborn, tricking it into a false sense of security before using her acidic blood to eject it into space, ending its reign of terror. Finally, after 200 years of torment and scientific experimentation, Ripley 8 returns to Earth. But the planet is a wasteland, a barren, desolate shell of its former self. Ripley 8 and the surviving crew of the Betty look down on the ruins of Paris and wonder, what's next? Ripley 8 is free, but what does freedom mean when you're neither truly human nor alien?
Put it down!
What is Ripley 8, human or xenomorph? Ripley 8 was human in appearance, but as we'll get into, she was far from just a copy of Ellen Ripley. From her DNA to her physical abilities, Ripley 8 was a hybrid. Part Ripley, part xenomorph, and something else entirely. So what makes her a hybrid? Let's break down some of her most notable traits. Ripley 8's unique anatomy, the alien-human hybrid. When you first see Ripley 8, she might look like just another version of Ellen Ripley, but take a closer look and you'll realize that she's far from the woman we knew. There are subtle differences in her appearance that hint at something much more sinister and fascinating. For instance, her fingernails aren't just nails. They're this eerie metallic green-black, almost like the xenomorph's carapace. It's as though there's an alien part of her trying to break through. And if you check out the novelization, there's even a mention of vestigial growths along her spine. These were remnants of the xenomorph's dorsal horns, which were removed through surgery. It's such a small detail, but it hints at how much of the alien was built into her from the start. Plus, the scars left behind after the procedure to extract the queen embryo, they reveal even more of her alien side. Almost like her body was trying to say, I'm not just human anymore. But her physical changes don't stop there. Ripley 8's strength is truly out of this world. She's got the kind of raw power that lets her overpower much larger opponents without breaking a sweat. And I'm talking about tearing through metal with her bare hands, jumping across impossible distances, and moving with a speed and precision that's more akin to a xenomorph than any human. It's like she's been granted abilities beyond what the human body was ever meant to achieve. Honestly, when you watch her in action, it's hard not to think she's basically superhuman at this point. Then there's her pain tolerance. It's pretty much off the charts. You know how the rest of us would be out of commission after getting shocked or hit with something heavy. Not Ripley 8. She takes these powerful electrical shocks or brutal hits that would leave any normal person in agony, but she doesn't even flinch. There's a scene where she literally gets hit in the face with a metal weight, and she just shakes it off like it's nothing. It's like her body was built to endure the worst and still keep going, like she's an unstoppable force. On top of that, Ripley 8's ability to regenerate is mind-blowing. You know how we see Wolverine heal quickly in the X-Men movies? Ripley 8 kind of has that, but maybe even faster. After the surgery to remove the queen embryo, her scars healed overnight, almost as if her body was trying to recover from the trauma in record time. It goes beyond just cuts and bruises too. She can recover from smaller injuries almost instantly. There's even a version of the story where she loses a tooth during a fight, and by the time the scene shifts, it's already grown back. Talk about resilience. And let's not forget one of the most iconic traits of the Xenomorphs: their acidic blood. Ripley 8 isn't entirely immune to this either. While her blood isn't as potent as the Xenomorphs, it still has that corrosive quality that's enough to burn through metals and glass. In Alien Resurrection, her blood plays a pivotal role when she uses it to burn a hole in the hull of the Betty, creating a space vacuum that ultimately kills the newborn. It's just another reminder that while she may look human, the alien DNA running through her veins makes her an entirely different breed. Personality. The hybrid struggles with identity. Ripley 8's appearance and physicality may scream alien, but it's her personality that really sets her apart. Her memories of Ellen Ripley are fragmented, often coming in flashes. She remembers her past life, but she doesn't quite understand it. And in terms of emotional depth, Ripley 8 isn't exactly a mirror of the woman she was cloned from. Instead of the empathetic and driven Ripley we knew, Ripley 8 is more sarcastic, apathetic, and emotionally disconnected. For much of her time aboard the USM Auriga, she reacts to the chaos around her with a dry, almost indifferent attitude. Whether she's facing xenomorphs or talking to human survivors, Ripley 8 tends to keep her distance emotionally. But don't be fooled. While she may seem indifferent, it's clear that her situation affects her. There's a constant inner conflict as she processes who and what she is. Is she still Ripley, or is she just a mistake, a twisted product of human ambition? There are moments, however, when her humanity shines through. Her reaction to the failed clones before her, especially Ripley 7, who pleads to be euthanized, is a poignant reminder that she still has traces of the compassion Ripley once had. She even expresses remorse when she confronts the newborn, the creature that was birthed from the queen embryo in her. The newborn sees Ripley 8 as its mother, and while she tries to reject that bond, there's still a flicker of empathy for the creature in her eyes. Ripley 8's connection to the Xenomorphs. Ripley 8 is more than just a human with Xenomorph DNA. She shares an unsettling connection to the Xenomorphs. Due to the genetic fusion between her and the queen's embryo, she can feel the Xenomorphs around her, almost as if they can sense her too. She's able to read their emotions, sense their motives, and understand their hive-like mentality. It's almost like she's linked to them on a psychic level. But while the Xenomorphs revere her, particularly the queen with whom she shares a bond, Ripley 8 doesn't embrace this connection. She feels caught between two worlds. On one hand, she's a human, a survivor, a fighter. On the other hand, she is part xenomorph, and part of her is drawn to that predatory nature. The internal conflict of being both species is one of the most fascinating aspects of her character. Does she side with the humans, or does she embrace the alien side of herself? In the end, Ripley 8 chooses to fight with the human survivors, but the question of where her true loyalties lie lingers. Our nerdy thoughts. Ripley 8's story is one of tragedy, transformation, and survival. Born from the twisted ambitions of those who sought to exploit Ripley's death, she became a new type of creature, one that exists in the gray area between human and alien. Her journey serves as a reflection of what happens when science pushes the boundaries of nature, when humanity tries to control forces it doesn't understand. Ripley 8 might not have been the hero we expected, but in many ways, she's the most interesting and complex version of Ripley to date. A survivor of her circumstances, a product of both her past and the monsters that made her. Ripley 8's story will leave you questioning what it means to be human, what it means to be a monster, and what it means to truly survive. That's it for today's deep dive into Ripley 8. What do you think about her character? Is she more human or more xenomorph? Do you think she deserves a bigger role in future alien stories? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.